So I ask this of all the coaches too. If you can look in the camera and talk to the diehard fans that are with you, win, lose, or draw, and have been with you for 20 some years, what do you say to the fans that have been backing you this whole time?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I've been at South 14 years now. I mean, I graduated from South. We live right next to the stadium. You know, I've been very blessed to be teaching, you know, for almost 20 years in Troy. Some of my best friends are up there, so I kind of have the best of both worlds. But all our fans, I mean, thank you so much for all you do and come out. There are people up on the hill watching practice, and you know, I think, you know, everyone's kind of intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
You know, football is a special sport, and all the things it teaches the youngsters. And I think people, you know, they're intrigued by that and see, you know, what's going to happen. You know, are they going to be able to get over the hump this year? Are they going to be able to, you know, take what they have and do it? And I think, you know, people are coming out there, they're checking things out. So it's pretty exciting.
And that's the greatest thing about high school football, and me and Tyler talked about this too, is high school football is a chalkboard. And December comes around, you take that eraser and you erase that chalkboard. August of the following year, boom, you got a blank chalkboard and we start over again. And that's what makes high school football so amazing.
Yeah. You know, it's just like, you know, with our offensive installs. Like, you know, last year I had a lot of older kids that were, you know, returning starters. We had a lot more in. You know, now we're starting again, you know, putting in this play, putting in this play, putting in this play. But I know if you stay the course, you know, down the road.
Yep. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's it. So I always kind of compare it to cooking a soup or a sauce. You cut everything up, put it in the bowl. It needs to simmer, it needs to cook, it needs to get tender. And then when it's ready, 2 hours later, it's
a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. But
it's amazing to be fans of any of these high school teams, to watch the first game comes along and you got growing pains and you might not be polished as you'd like to be, but by week 5, 6, you're hoping your team is really rolling, and then by week 9 or 10, you're hoping they got momentum and they're getting ready to go into the postseason. And what a great feeling that has to be as a coach. Week 10, you know, you locked up your league and you're heading into the postseason, and you got a pretty good draw for the first playoff game, and you got a home game. That has to be huge as a coach and for your players.
You kind of, you know, you set your goals. You talk about goals with the kids, and you know, things that are attainable. And you know, I mean, playoffs are in those goals. Playoff wins are in those goals. You know, winning your league are in those goals. And you know, the kids all have kind of, you know, singular goals that they want to achieve, whether it be, you know, throwing for 1,000 yards or rushing for 1,000 yards, or you know, having a certain amount of tackles. But all that marries together, and you know, really, you know, what makes it nice is when you go through all your practices and your preparation, and you come out and you have a full stadium, and those people are out there, they're cheering for you, they're rooting for you, they're supporting you, you know, before the game, during the game, and after the game. And that means so much to us.
When you're on the sideline and you're a ninth grader and you look up and the stadium's packed, it's the highest of all highs. And once your 4 years is up, you're probably never going to get that again.
Yeah. I mean, you know, today I mean, very few guys go on to college to play football or any sport for that matter. And you know, things are so expensive. But again, you know, some guys aren't even going to university anymore. They're, you know, going out into the workforce, getting really, you know, some of these jobs are really, really, really good. Going into service, you know, building a resume there. So, I mean, some of the kids are never going to put a helmet on again.
Oh, and like, you've been through this a bunch of times. What do you tell before you take the field for that last game? This is going to be your last game ever. So for some of you.
Yeah. I mean, the commitment that they make, you know, where they maybe play Pop Warner or they play junior high, and then 4 years of high school. I mean, it's going to, you know, I think it's really going to enrich their life. And you know, you always hear you know, from the critics, well, you know, you could get hurt or you could do, I mean, you know, the facts are, you know, you're probably gonna get in pretty good physical condition, number one. So you're gonna get healthier. You're gonna sleep better, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna be more alert. You know, you're gonna have to put the phone down for that 2-hour practice. So I really think, you know, you're probably gonna have to study more because you have to stay eligible. All the guys over the years that I've coached, you know, guys that really didn't like school, football kind of helped them do well in their academics. I get a lot of stories from parents about how, you know, oh my gosh, Johnny's taking the garbage out. I didn't even ask him, Coach, what are you doing? You know, so like, you know, we talk about these things and, you know, being better people, you know, helping at home, making your bed, taking the garbage out, doing your homework, helping people, whether it be someone that dropped their books in the hallway, you know, holding a door for somebody.
The little old lady down the street.
Yeah,
needing
yeah, I
garden
mean,
hose.
these are, you know, lifelong lessons that kind of are, you know, being diminished through, through just the daily rigors of life. You know, that's what football kind of does. It brings back, you know, those heartfelt work ethic, you know, goals and things that can really help them at their job. And they're going to go off, get married, have children, you know, all good things that they can, you know, share with their wife, with the kids, and hopefully, you know, have a great life. So.
And this is our third interview that we've done, and I'm sure by the end of the year we'll probably have 5 or 6 total. So I mean, it's been so much fun to learn, because before I started this, and I'm sure before any of these videos came out, they just seen you and see a couple lines in the paper, or maybe you get 20 seconds on the news, and that would be it. But doing this gives you a personality, and people get to really understand who Chris Eisworth is.
Yeah, it's neat because, you know, you come to a practice in South Williamsport, and you can tell my voice is a little hoarse today. I mean, you know, to coach, you have to talk, you have to speak, and you have to guide. And it takes a lot of you know, talking, speaking, and you have to, you know, change your voice inflection. Sometimes you're going to be really loud, sometimes you're going to be softer, sometimes, you know, you're going to be a little more, you know, forceful, or, you know. So all these strategies and how you deliver and how you teach and how you coach, you know, it affects your voice, it affects the inflection. But you know, I kind of joke with the guys because I think some people, you know, they think I'm just this old crotchety guy that, you know, all he does is screams and yells. And I told him, you know, we have a plan, and if I don't have to get loud, well, I'm not going to get loud. Sometimes we have to, and you know, so that lets people know that, you know, it's like anything.
It's just
else.
part of the job, really.
I'm a really nice guy. You know, I like to have fun. I like to laugh. You know, if anyone's seen me at a birthday party or, you know, visiting in a social, you know, area on the weekend or at a Penn State game, I mean, it's we have a lot of fun. So, but, you know, if you're at practice,
And it's so funny doing these interviews. I get to see each one of your guys' different personality. Like, I consider you the godfather of football, because you come in with your hair slicked back and you talk kind of like you're on The Sopranos. I just think that's so cool, because a lot of people are fire and brimstone guys, and you got everything, but each of you guys all has a personality, and it's just amazing to sit down and be able to get to see the personality in the coaches, you know.
Well, thank you.
And I think the fans will appreciate that too. They get to see your guys' personality. You guys actually have a personality. You're not just a couple lines in the paper.
Yeah, you have to be yourself. You know, everybody, and I can remember, you know, years ago, back in the late 90s, I started coaching. I loved Joe Paterno. You know, I even would roll my pants up. I'd wear black shoes. I'd wear a tie. You know, people thought, man, he's kind of weird. and it's like, you know, I really didn't care, because like, he was my idol. You know, I loved watching Penn State. I loved how they were tough and played great defense and ran the football. And you know, all his guys, he had a good kicking game. You know, you always heard about discipline, you know, good students. And so that kind of, you know, was my driving force. And, you know, early on, I had to learn. I wasn't Joe Paterno. You know, I tried to emulate things he did, but I had to be Chris Eisworth. And I think a lot of, you know, that would be something that I would tell any young guy. You've got to be yourself.
Yep.
And you can't be somebody else. You know, you can take little things from this guy and this guy, but ultimately, you got to be yourself, and you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And you know, you're going to fail, you're going to succeed, but ultimately, you know, you're going to make it. You know, so that's kind of the thing I try to tell my young coaches, and that I try to follow. So be yourself, give it everything you have, and do your best. You know.
And being a football coach, like you've had not so good seasons, and you've had great seasons. Where do you think you learn the most lessons?
Yeah, when you fail, that's how you learn. You know, I mean, we were working on double teams last night. You know, it's getting dark, and it's like, you know, we're working double teams, and the guy's fit wasn't right. The steps are a little off. It takes time. It takes patience. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take weeks to get these double teams where they have to get. But if you stay the course and you get that double team, it's the sweetest thing in the world, because that guy just gets lifted up and moves off the line of scrimmage, and you have room to run. So, you know, the patience end of it, the staying, you know, steadfast to what you're trying to do is pretty cool.
And the thing I always enjoyed more when I became a college football player was the muscle memory that you inherit from doing, like, as a high school kid, you think, oh man, this is so stupid, we're running the same play 20 times. But it has to be, you can't think. It has to be like breathing. Like if you go out there and you have to think, boom, the play's over.
Yep.
It has, and when you do all these drills, you drill and drill and drill, so it's second nature like breathing. So you don't have to think, because football's not, the thinking's in the off season. When it comes time to put the tire to the road, that's time to just do it. It's not time to think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get your script and work it offensively and defensively. I mean, whatever you do, you have to master those reads and those fits and tackling. I mean, and it's tedious work. You know, I mean, we're doing tackling drills every day. We have a tackle circuit. You know, the kids kind of look at me, you know, we're going to do this again. But it changes you, you know. We're lifting. It changes you. You know, we do certain things to enhance our speed training. It's toughening you up. It's training you. So it's a journey, and but it's a great journey that I love, and I love the process. You know, it's not an easy process. Sometimes it's a humbling process, but if you can stay the course, it's well worth the trip.
Yep.
Well worth the trip.
Well, we really appreciate your time here at PAFootballNews.com, and we could sit here and talk for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I have so much fun interviewing you guys. It's a great thing. I just want to say thank you, and I'm sure I'll be interviewing you again, because you guys will be successful like you always are, and you'll be heading into the postseason again. And right now we haven't even played a game yet, which is funny to sit here and interview you guys during preseason. But
this is a great venue.
And we'll get to watch the season unfold as fans, as coaches, as reporters, and we'll love it the same. It's just a great thing. High school football is great.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Lindsay.
Yep. And for PA Football News, I'm Lindsey Bennett, and this is the South Williamsport head coach, Chris Eisworth. Thank you for watching.